I think I always was interested by people who had diseases which were difficult to treat, and I wanted to help them ultimately. And I wanted to help them through being a doctor, but also through being a scientist to actually develop new treatments for these types of patients. It is something I knew from a young age. My mother, for a large part of my life, had an illness that wasn't well understood, and there weren't really good treatment options. So I think that was always something that kind of drove me to medicine, and I think it's kind of shaped the types of patients who I want to treat. Hi, I'm Richard Phillips. I'm an attending neuro-oncologist here at Penn Medicine. Neuro-oncology is very multidisciplinary. I work very closely with neurosurgeons, neuropathologists, radiation oncologists. But ultimately, in order to get a diagnosis of a brain tumor, you typically will need to have a surgery, and then the tissue needs to be examined to understand exactly what's going on. And so sometimes I'll see patients when they initially have neurological symptoms and we don't know what's going on, but then a scan will show that there's a likely tumor. Sometimes I'll get referred patients after they've had surgery and the tissue shows that they have a particular diagnosis, and then they'll be sent to me to kind of guide the next steps in treatment. When they come and see me, there's a lot of uncertainty and questions about what this means for their life, what their prognosis is, how it's going to affect them. There's a lot of really difficult things that they're contending with. And so providing good information and providing hope and providing options is very rewarding. Everyone has experienced themselves and through their families when they've been looked after well, right? So you understand that when a doctor's gone that little bit extra to communicate or to do something, and how important that is. And so I think I have an understanding of how that feels, and that's what I want to deliver for my patients. And so that's the main inspiration, and making sure that people have great outcomes ultimately.